tuberculosis, epidemiology, HIV, STD, and that's basically that's what the shows is like also to the provider. We've got our contact numbers in the back in case anybody really needs a consultation or has a question for the veterinarian, immunizations, HIV. Locally our agency does STD testing and treatment, immunization, tuberculosis testing and treatment, and but our agency covers epidemiology, HIV, STD. We have the Office of Border Health. There's a bunch of other services that our agency provides, but locally, that's all we have here. But anytime you need any services, if you do, you can contact us if you like, and we can put you in contact with somebody who can help you out with something that we might not provide here. And that's actually all I have. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Mr.
Thanks, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you. All right, next, discuss the possible action on interlocal agreement for solid waste grant between Federal Rio Grande Development Council and Governor's County and authorize county judge to sign it.
Make a motion to approve and authorize the judge to sign.
Need a second from you? Second. Okay, any question, discussion? Not all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nobody, 3-0. Next, item 8, discuss possible action on the use of Gouverneur County baseball field for the Del Rio Little League on June 25th to July the 1st for the district tournament and July the 5th to the 10th for the sections.
Commissioner McCrary's not here yet.
No. Okay.
We have a,
Well, let me give you this. I think they were very impressed with our fields after we worked on them. Thanks to Commissioner Warlock, Commissioner Middleton, and everybody in the staff. They were very impressed with it. They now want to have their not only do they want to have their section here, but now they want to have a district tournament, which from here they go to the World Series. So they're very impressed with that. Also, we want to thank Commissioner Wardlow's crew for doing and Commissioner Upton for doing a blacktop on paving. And the city is going to be doing in-kind grant for striping. They're going to do it free for us, just because they're going to get some hot tax money from that on that in 2 weeks. So the city is partnering up with us to do just the lines after we do the blacktop, so it's going to be very successful. Anything else you want to add to it? State your name for the record, sir.
Good morning. My name is Jesse Garcia. I'm the Vice President of the Del Rio Little League here in town. From my understanding, I was told that, of course, we want to say thank you very much to the county and everything for all they've done on the fields. They look the best I've ever seen. Look great. We are holding the district tournament here and sectionals. It's a big deal for us. We wanted to go ahead and make sure that the fields are looking good because this is what we want to come back, to Del Rio. We're talking about teams from out of town, San Antonio and Big Lake area and stuff like that. There'll be a lot of people here in town. So we want to, of course, make sure that the fields are looking really nice so we can get them again. From my understanding, though, what I did hear is that someone was trying to use the fields, I guess, during the time of district play. I guess they wanted to play a softball game.
Well, I forgot to mention that. Let me just take me.
Okay.
There was a softball person that came over and wanted to use that day. Well, we didn't know that we were going to have district regionals. That's why we okayed it. And we talked to the softball people and says, can you move it to Hogan Park? Because the Little League has number one priority, so we're going to work with them to move them to Hogan Field. But that was actually nobody's fault because we didn't know that you guys wanted to use it for the district tournament. I know they wanted to use, for the district. They wanted to use for playoffs, so we had agreed to give them on the 5th to the 10th, but now they need to know that the Little League takes top priority, so we're going to try to work with them and the city and try to move them to Hogan Park. That's the issue right there.
That would be perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
And that works great. I mean, we did spend a lot of time fixing those fields, and for a softball tournament, those fields are not designed. It goes to show that we have a huge lack of fields available for all of the stuff. I mean, the Midnight Madness that the softball wants to put on is a good program too, but if we can move them, that would be great. I think we have to look for some long-range solutions to this.
Yes, and what had concerned us was that, in order to have a softball there, you would have to remove the pitcher's mounds.
Yes.
And those pitcher's mounds, we just got professionally installed,
Yes.
this year. And, you know, a couple $1,000s that comes out of the Little League pocket to make sure that those are up to par. So, when we heard that they might be taking those out, we were like, wait a minute. So,
Well, and it really wasn't your fault or our fault, it
Oh,
was
no.
just that it was, they came up at the last minute that they wanted district tournament, and then we finally realized that we can't remove the pitcher's mounts, because besides you guys, there was other people that sponsored building that, and of course our workers. So we're gonna work with them and try to make everybody a win-win situation.
perfect.
I'll make a motion to authorize the baseball fields to be used for the Del Rio Little League for June 25th through July the 1st, and from July 5th through July the 10th, and to work with the Midnight Madness to try to move theirs to another softball location.
Thank you. There's a motion. Second. And I will try to work with Midnight Madness myself, and Roland will try to work with them. But like I said, it was nobody's fault. Again, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 3-0. Thank you. Thank you. Next, item 9, discuss possible action on resolution designating authorized signatories for Colonia Self-Help Program, Self-Help Center contract number 72-17-013.
Good morning, County Judge, Commissioners.
Good
Morning.
morning.
Thanks for having me before you this morning. I'm here to give a report on the status of the self-help centers and also first the resolution. The resolution is a standard resolution to reaffirm the county judge as the primary signatory for all matters concerning the self-help center contract between the county and the state. And it also names a couple of additional officials to be signatories primarily on drawings. And that would be the positions of county auditor and the assistant to the county judge.
Okay.
I
That's
will
it.
make a motion to approve the resolution and authorize the judge to sign.
There's a motion. Second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 3-0. Now, item 10, discuss possible action on the status of the Belgrade County Self-Help Center.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
As you may recall, back in December, we were finishing up our old contract and applying for the new contract, and the state was so happy we were finishing early, they gave us an additional $300,000. We're now just at the point where we're finally finishing with that money and hope to finish up by our original end date of August the 4th. We've been awarded the new contract that started back in February, so they're kind of overlapping, which is by design so that there's no break in service. And again, that contract started on February 1st, and that'll go for 4 years. The new contract's a full $1 million contract. We met all our benchmarks on the original one and got the full $1 million.
Good job.
In, hopefully not to count chickens before I hatch department, but in more good news, the state has been so happy with us, they're beginning preliminary talks to add at least $500,000 to our new contract.
Yeah, that's great.
Congratulations. And
That's great.
thank you.
Glad to hear that.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for all your hard work.
You're welcome, sir.
Next, item 11, discuss possible action on the check presentation by Carl S. of Texas CDBG 7218-075 in the amount of $500,000, and Texas CDBG 7218-026 in the amount of $350,000. And no, it's not going to go to precinct 4.
No, actually, part of it is.
Yeah, but not all of it.
Make the motion that be approved.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. You don't want to make the motion to make sure that he doesn't get any? All right. Well, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 3-0.
Judge, good morning.
Morning.
We're humbled this morning to come before Valverde County Commissioners Court and make the presentation here for these two big checks. As you may recall, the county recently received a contract in the amount of $500,000 from the Texas Department of Agriculture to do continuing improvements out there at Escondido, Rancho Del Rio, and also San Felipe Pastures, and in addition, a $350,000 award from the Texas Department of Agriculture over there for the Ridgeline community. You may have heard me mention before up here that this is a team effort. not just Esther and Company, and it's not just Val Verde County Commissioners Court. It's many of the department heads that have a role and play a part in these projects. Anna continuously reviews stuff for legality, make sure everything's in place, her office. Janie, I was just over at her office last week. Janie supplied me some information to close out a project, an old project with TDA. We needed a copy of all the bonds, or the bonds of the authorized signatories for these grants. Roger many times goes out in the field and actually does site visits with those projects. Roy issues a PO for everything that goes through these grants, the purchasing department. We call on Juanita continuously. She gives us information there for the personnel records and their adjusted hourly wage with all the information a lot of times required with force account. Treasurer's office and the auditor's office, of course, they play a very vital, important part on issuing checks to the various vendors. So it's a team effort. We really appreciate everybody's support, working together. It's the only way we make these things happen. It's no one person. It's a continued effort by the entire county. So at this time, we'd like to present these checks and maybe have those department heads participate in getting a picture with these checks, everybody that participated. We've got two checks here, one in the amount of $500,000 and one in the amount of $350,000. Yeah. Jake?
You guys get in here.
Janie, you're gonna have to like come around because like Bo was like the last person and Matt is like the last person over here.
Once you get here between.
Get there and there we go. All right, big smiles, everybody. Over here. 1, 2, 3. Take one more. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Big checks?
Big check.
All right, we'll cash them. $100 bills. Here, no deposit Go deposit.
Endorsement on the back.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for participating and helping us get all that money, all the department heads, the legal department, and everybody else. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you, Carl. All right, now let's go to item number 12, discuss possible action on door number 1 for Texas CDBG 7218-075, and authorize the county judge to sign it,
Move.
county auditor to sign it. There's a motion.
Second.
Second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 3-0. Next, item 13, discuss possible action on door number 7 for Texas CDBG 7216-075, and authorize county judge and county auditor to sign it.
Move.
Moved by,
Move.
no, he moved.
Oh, give me a second.
Second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nobody. Now let's go to item 14, discuss possible action on the acceptance of resolution regarding the local rabies ordinance. Go ahead.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you. This was an item that was placed on the agenda by Commissioner Wardlaw, and actually, it really doesn't require any action. It just requires an explanation of the status of the county, where the county stands on the local rabies law. And this came to Commissioner Wardlaw by a constituent who was aware of the fact that the state law on mandatory vaccination for rabies is 3 years. And probably he had heard that the city of Del Rio, their ordinance is for 1 year. How this all came about, back in November of 2014, I brought to the court's attention that the county at that time was not in compliance because the law, the chapter that controls this is 826 of the Health and Safety Code. It's Title 10, Health and Safety of Animals, Chapter 826, Subchapter A. And it requires, it is mandatory for a county to have a rabies control authority. In our old order, the animal control officer was the rabies control authority. Since we did not have an animal control officer, it was necessary for the court to address that. How they addressed it was in this manner, and I have a copy of the minutes here of the meeting of November 10th of 2014. Commissioner Ramon, after I explained this to the court, Commissioner Ramon made a motion to rescind Commissioner's Order 94-336, which was our animal control order. That was seconded by Judge Allen, and it was a vote aye of Commissioner Nettleton, Ramon, and Flores, with Commissioner Owens opposing. So at that particular time, since then, we have just been mandated by the state statute, and the state statute allows for 3-year intervals between vaccinations. I contacted the city. Theirs is 1 year. And Commissioner Wardlaw and I, to re-verify this, even though we had it in writing, we talked to Pat Martin, local veterinarian, and he reiterated the same thing. So the county is operating right now strictly by statute, by this statute 826. And it requires that an animal be vaccinated for rabies every 3 years. This is also brings to attention the fact that now with our rabies control, or rather our animal control facility, just about ready to operate, there will have to be an animal control order once again reestablished, because we don't have one at this time. Okay. Is there any question on that?
What is your idea on the one that was rescinded?
What 826 allows for a county or a city to adopt a more stringent, and that's what apparently they did in this. I would myself say that every 3 years, if the state is of the opinion that a 3-year vaccination is ample, then I believe that my opinion would be that would be what should be put in the new order. But
I understand the city of San Antonio is every 3 years.
Yes.
And we might ask the city of Del Rio to look at this to make it uniform with the county.
Correct. But that is, any questions on where we stand right now? Thank you.
Could you send this to Ms. Gleason, please? Hand it to Ms. Gleason, please.
Sure.
Behind you.
What is that? Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Next, we have item 15, discuss possible action on the contract for SRN Company Consultant LLC for administration management of Texas CDBG 7218-026 step 1. Move. Second. Discussion. Not all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody. 3-0. Next, item 16, discuss possible action on requesting approval of payment per diem and registration authorized county auditor to issue a check on June 13, 2018 for 2018 Vital Statistics Regional Conference June 23, 2018 to June 26, 2018.
What we did?
Good morning,
Morning.
Commissioners and Judge. We're asking for the approval. I brought this agenda item to you, for you on the May the 30th agenda, where it said discussing possible action for the approval, use, and transfer of funds in the technology fund to the travel and training fund, which you did approve. However, all we're asking now is for the actual payment, and we understand that you're only making payments once a month now. This is what we're getting from.
Once a month? No, I
Uh,
don't.
George Lopez, I believe Judge Lopez was the one that spoke to someone. Matt, we're going to make sure.
I'm on the agenda as well for the same training that we're attending. And when we submitted our agenda and we tried to submit a PO, we were told that checks would not be cut up until the 27th. So I called Matt and asked if that was true, because my chief deputy clerk had told me that the checks did not get cut off until the 27th, and says we leave on the 24th. I mean, this is something that we've got to go. It's vital statistics. It's something that's going to convert from TER to TechSaver, and we need the training. And the reason, if y'all see it on the transfer, I barely put it on the agenda for this time because I thought we still have time for the commissioners to approve it, because I thought McAllen was too far, so I was trying to get a closer location. So we inquired, and the closest one is Austin in September, but it's $500 more. So I thought, you know what, Brenda, put it on the agenda. We're going to go to McAllen. We don't have a choice. We need to go to this training.
Commissioners, the trainings that are available to us for this month would be on the 18th, 20th, 22nd, and 25th. Would be in Lubbock, Arlington, the Woodlands, and McAllen. And if that's the case,
When do those lists come out?
I'm not sure when this list came out, Commissioner. That's why I submitted it almost 2 weeks
Because I get my list for my annual trainings in January for the entire year. So I was just curious when those lists come out.
On this
we
one?
don't have one list. The TER training, Commissioner, just to let you know, they're converting from the way we do online death certificates. That's what it's for. They're converting from the TER system to the TechSaver system. And that is very essential because there is a small window that we need to approve these death certificates when there's an inquest that we have to be sent out. There's a 10-day window, and the whole system has changed, and that's what we're going to get.
Are all the JPs going to these?
I'm not sure if everybody's going to that.
I don't know.
Matt, legally, can we do this?
Legally, you don't have a claim to approve, so, no. I mean, we
What do
have-
you mean they don't have a claim to approve?
They don't have a claim, we have no PO, we have no invoice, we have nothing.
They can approve a request for payment.
How? What do I have to approve for payment? What have I audited? I have nothing. I have no PO, I have no invoice, I have no voucher. All I've got is an agenda item to release a check, which probably shouldn't happen.
Okay, well, the next time somebody comes up and asks for money for something, it should be denied.
It should, unless there is a valid claim. Correct.
Okay, well, from now on, if somebody doesn't have a PO, like when Roy gets up and there's not a valid PO or whatever, it should be denied.
Okay, so you're talking about the PO list?
Now, I'm talking about that this court has approved payments without POs many, many times.
Recently?
Yeah,
Well, when was the last time?
we can look at the minutes, Matt, but if they filled out a PO right now, could they approve it?
No, because I would have to bring it to court, and court would have to approve the claim. And we're having court right now.
This is, well, it's the court's call, but this is bureaucracy at its worst.
I
it's
don't
the-
think so. I
it's
think
the court's call.
we have to have rules and regulations we have to follow.
Okay, can I intervene also?
Sure.
On the PO, if there wasn't a PO, my chief deputy clerk wanted to submit a PO, but Matt advised us, you can't, because you got a request for the transfer from your technology fund to the travel and training. We were not aware that it was broken, that our technology fund was broken up in three portions, which is office supplies, travel and training, and capital outlay. We were not aware, so when we were told, so, oh, okay, then let's transfer the money to travel and training. And my chief deputy clerk says, Matt, but the money's there in the technology fund. Yes, but you gotta transfer it. I said, well, we were not aware that it was broken down into three categories. So so I submitted the transfer at the same time that I'm asking for the payment.
Judge,
We
I'd
were
like to
not
make a
aware.
motion.
I just felt
Okay.
we need to.
I'd like to make a motion that this be approved so long as it stays within the budget.
Okay, there's a motion.
Okay.
Second.
What are you approving? I have nothing to give you to approve.
There are funds to attend this.
So why do we give you any claims? Why don't we just make agenda items for everything? And then just not do the expense approval report? Just whatever anybody puts on the agenda, we'll just approve it and just go on. Why don't we just do it that way?
I don't understand how we didn't know we didn't have a budget to do this. And every GP's going to these same ones, and they all got their stuff, but,
This is,
we're stuck here with this situation, where this is just a lack of planning, that's all this is. But you have to go, it is what it is, life goes on. And, but this is just simply a lack of planning. That's all this is. If we planned it in advance and known where we were going and done the POs and done all the things we were supposed to do, it would have went through the regular bill process and that would have been the end of this. But it's already done, so.
Okay, there's a motion, you want to second that?
I second it.
Okay. All right, any more discussion?
The claim isn't paid, it'll just be paid out the following court when the PO and invoice are presented to the court for payment.
Well, we still have to go through the process. We still have to have a purchase order. We still have to have an invoice. We still have to have all the things that are required by statute in order to pay a claim. You're asking us to pay it out of cycle without any of this, and however we got here, we got here. But you still have to provide all the
Yes,
documents.
Commissioner, we can submit that today.
Today, the PO.
Okay.
And we do have the funds, or they should be transferred.
The reason you couldn't submit it before is there was no funds in that account to
No,
submit it.
I brought it before you guys the last agenda.
No, I mean,
Transfer
before
the
the transfer. Before the transfer, we couldn't have submitted a PO because there wasn't any.
That's exactly right.
And had we
Now,
had we done the
question
transfer and
in mind
submitted the
is that
PO,
we had never known that in the technology fund, they had subdivided it into two other funds.
Well,
They divided it into a capital outlay fund and an office supply fund. They never contacted us to find out what else we used that fund for.
that's not
We
reflected in
also
the
used-
budget that's given the
correct. The
elected.
training was not requested in your budget that you provided to the court. That's why there was no line item for that. You did request training?
But we've never done it in the past before. We were caught by surprise this time.
Okay, and you did everything correctly. You had the money in your account to submit the PO on time, and everything would have been fine, but you didn't submit the PO on time.
Yes, that's the only, but we weren't aware that it had to be here on a Thursday and we were going to submit it on Friday. That was our mistake.
sounds to me like we need a complete training for every department head on exactly how the process works.
Okay.
Through this budget cycle, we will get that taken care of.
And elected officials have never had a training, ever.
But Counselor, I mean,
No.
most of them have been here quite a long time.
No.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any more question, discussion? And this will include items 16, 17, and 18. Let me read
All 16, was it all three of them?
yeah, all three of them. Item 17, let me read them before we discuss possible action approval of transfer amended funds from technology to technology fund travel training, an amount of $1,166.82. The transfer will be used for 2018 Vital Statistics Regional Conference. The request is in compliance with TCCP Article 102.071, 73, parentheses D, parentheses 1. And item 18, discuss the possible action on requesting approval of payment for per diem and registration authorizing county auditor to issue checks on June the 13th, 2018, for 2018 Vital Statistics Regional Conference on June 23rd, 2018 to June 26, 2018. So all those items will be into one. Same motion, second. Okay, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, all those opposed, nobody, 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next, item 19, discuss possible action regarding the budget amendment to advertise line item and purchase budget in the issue of $4,000 is required to fund anticipated ending quarter expenses.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are we getting,
As I was, well, that's up to you.
do you have it in your budget?
No, this is not my budget item. This is a general budget item, and this is the line item that we use to publish all public notices, both Mr. Cerny's, ourselves. When the court asked to advertise the redistricting notice in Austin and San Antonio that pretty much, $1,913 for one run on each newspaper. And that pretty much exhausted the budget.
This is out of that line item with all those different ones in it.
Yeah, the advertising?
Yeah, it's in that group there. Is there anywhere, yeah, the others have all the different ones for trapper salaries and all that stuff. I don't have the budget set in front of me.
That's the one.
Is there savings within all of those line items to move into this category?
Or we can just move that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's kind of what contingency is meant for.
Yes.
For-
It's exactly what it was meant for.
So, it would be easier and better if we were to do it that way. However.
Motion to move 4,000 out of contingency into the advertising line item.
Second.
At the request of the county audit.
Okay. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 3-0. Next, item 20, discuss possible action regarding the copier contract for county agent's office.
We purchased the copier that they currently have, a couple of years ago, and we were just paying maintenance on that, and $32.94 a month. The new lease, new copier, new lease, $186.53, an increase of $153.59 for the line item for this year.
We purchased it, but now we're leasing it.
We purchased it and we've been using it for 2 years, only under a maintenance program, and that's why it wasn't budgeted for a new one this year. You could wait till next year to budget it. But I understand they needed
We're
to be.
replacing it?
Yes, we are replacing the old one.
The old one's no good.
I guess.
We guess.
I'm not a technician of a copier, so I can't
So we're
tell
getting
you
rid of
whether
the
it's
old
not
one.
any good or
We're
not.
getting
or
rid of
maybe
the
we
old
just-
one.
We're getting rid of the old, yes.
We're not adding more copiers.
No, we are not,
So this request came from who?
from the
From Emily.
county agent.
All right, motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 3-0. Next, item 21, discuss possible action regarding the lease agreement between rental additional warehouse space for purchasing apartment on Grindr. This lease agreement will update the previous lease as required by the new owners.
Where are we at on getting moved in? We had discussed moving precinct 1 and 2 out of their warehouses they were going to build, and we were going to move you into the old, which was the original purchasing warehouse out there on Hamilton.
Warehouse 1 and 2 are not,
They're not moved.
they're not built.
Do we need to give them money to do that?
To build a warehouse?
We don't have it yet.
I thought in that discussion we were going to set aside some funds so they could do that.
No.
Contingency.
Which discussion?
Well, we discussed y'all building independent precinct offices out and moving them into the warehouses out there now. I thought we discussed setting aside some funds so y'all could build a warehouse, build a precinct office.
It wasn't done. We knew, I'm in favor of that. We're planning.
This is the same lease, same rent, it's just a new ownership.
I'll make a motion to approve this, and maybe we can bring some numbers back on what it would take to get them moved into something so we can move them into a warehouse.
I need, also,
What does this lease amount to?
$1,000 a month. 1,100.
100.
I second those motion.
Okay. There's a motion second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye.
We need
3-0.
all three today.
All right, next, discuss possible action on regarding the payment and executed purchase not complying with current purchasing policy.
Wow. They didn't comply with the purchasing policy.
No, they didn't. And the county attorney's on here
I know, we do that too. Which
for
one is
no
it?
purchase order.
Which one?
There was a purchase order. What happened with this, and there's always an explanation, and that's why I'm glad you brought it up. This was a book that came in, and we returned it, and they did not accept returns. They sent us a letter and said, your book has been recycled, you still owe the money. So we had to pay, and we were aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah. They tried to return it. They destroyed it, still trying.
Yep. So there you go.
And the one on the Central Security, I think we have defective, panic button, and we might even get reimbursed for that $92, because they came over and put new battery and it's still malfunctioning, so that's.
Motion to approve.
Motion? Second. All those in favor, indicate by saying aye. All those
Aye.
opposed? All right, next, item 23, discuss possible action on request to pay case management invoice.
Is this the one that we signed the contract ourselves?
Correct.
Correct.
So we're asking to pay an invoice on a contract the court did not approve.
The claim is that there was a conversation with Judge Valdez, and Judge Valdez said, go ahead and sign it. However, that's just the information I got. I mean, she would be the best resource in getting how this went down.
So we have a
But-
contract signed by somebody who wasn't authorized to sign the contract.
Right.
And now we have to pay for it.
Well, that's happened before too.
Sorry, I'm Mary. I'm here for Ms. Johnson Valdez. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today. She's out on a conference. But I believe I submitted an invoice that was signed and was approved.
Well, you may submit an invoice. The problem is that the contract was not signed by the judge, and the only person that can obligate the county to a contract is the county judge, and Mr. Orr. So she signed a contract that she had no authority to sign.
Oh.
Who approved the invoice?
Well, she said that, from my understanding, it was approved within the budget, or with the budget meeting, it got approved. And back then, she said the invoice.
There was money set aside in the budget for that line item, yes, that's not the issue. The issue is we have a contract signed by somebody who didn't have authority to sign a contract.
And my understanding is, I even told her, I said all contracts have to be signed by myself with authorization from the county commissioner's court. She signed it without me actually signing the contract. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but that's happened before and we paid on the contract.
Well, I understand we're stuck paying on the contract. The problem is we're still signing contracts without authorization. And it goes back to the same thing as Matt said earlier, is let's just do whatever we want to do, and then we'll just figure it out later. And
Yeah,
that's how
what we
that
do.
system's going to work.
But that's how it's been working, yes.
What's the amount on
And that
this
makes it
contract?
right.
No.
Okay, then at some point you have to stop.
$10,000?
Well, we might be able to go to the extra session from this one, 111, for compliance with the budget.
No, we're just going to approve it and move on. I mean, that's what we're going to do. I mean, we're going to continue to go down that road. I mean, that's just what
Until
we're
we
gonna do.
stop.
Well, I understand, but every time we try to stop, somebody's got a comment.
Okay, all right. Well, this 12.5 is actually for some jury software, not for the annual software that's usually provided for the general fund. The general fund usually provides the 10,000. Now, the 12.5 came in first, and it came from the same vendor, came from the same software. It said annual and requesting invoice, so it was paid. How that line item in the budget got bulked up by a couple $1,000s, I have no idea. I didn't set up the 16-17, but it did. But in 16-17, in capital outlay, 12.5 was also set up as well. So this was not brought up to the court to purchase, but it was purchased. So by the time that the 10,000 that the court usually budgets for came across, that budget line item was already extinguished. So it couldn't absorb it. So really, I mean, to fix it, she could reimburse 12.5 out of one of her special funds, and then we can facilitate the $10,000 invoice.
Make a motion to approve the payment and for her to transfer the money out of her special funds back into the general fund to cover it.
Judge, is this something you would have signed if she had brought it to you?
No, I don't sign anything until, first of all,
The commissioners have to approve it.
approve it for me, authorize to sign it. Before I sign anything, I ask Lisa to make sure, check that it's been authorized by the Commissioner's Court for me to sign. And that's my way of doing this.
How long is this contract?
It's a year contract. However, there's a $500 annual renewal, which is paid for by the general fund, at least budgeted by the general fund.
But the contract's a year, and then after a year, we start over?
For the $500, the 12.5 was for the initial software. Then there's a $500 maintenance.
Do you know what they're talking about?
Probably a
a period that they give you to
There have been times that we
terminate
put
the
items
contract.
on the
Within
agenda.
that window, and it automatically renews.
Okay. We put an item on the agenda to renew the software contract. There have been times, you cannot make a blanket order that the judge is the only one that signs, because there are other people that when it's worded on the agenda, it says, and authorize that person to sign, and it's approved.
No, we can authorize somebody else to sign. The problem is the contract never made it here for us to authorize anybody to sign. We can authorize the sheriff to sign, the county clerk to sign, we can authorize any elected official to sign, but only the court can do that.
And I'm addressing myself to Brad because I know he's new. And to just make a statement that, contracts can just flow whichever way they want is not true. We do have responsible elected officials that bring things to the court, and we ask for authorization, and we get the permission, and only after we get that permission do we sign contracts.
And it would,
But there are out there.
but it would be helpful if the commissioners asked every time a lease or contract came before, does the court have authority? If the court approves this, that kind of stuff. Because there have been contracts that come up for renewal where the original contract was not approved by the court.
I understand that.
Yeah, but let me give you an
We'll
example.
hire somebody to deal with all of our contracts.
Well, if they would bring the contracts to us, and if you guys
I
would...
understand that this contract never made it to anybody, it just got signed.
Well, that happened to a renewal that you guys approved today, so,
I mean, it happened.
that's what happened with the purchasing. The original contract didn't come to the court.
Which contract?
On the space.
No, it did. Yes, it did. We approved the original contract.
But, well, then I apologize, but a lot of times they don't come. And if we ask, that's what you need to do. There has to be a checklist. Has it come before the court? Did so-and-so get approval, whatever, and then...
Let me give you an example, Counselor. Mr. Esser came by last week, he had a contract signed by me. Before I signed it, he said, emailed in and said, has it been approved by the Commissioner's Court for me to sign it? Those are the checks I have in my office. What I'm trying to say is, don't say that I said it was okay, because that's not what I do. I go to procedure and say, before I sign or give you authority to sign it, I have to check the minutes on the Commissioner's Court.
Yeah, well, Mr. Esser does it all right, so... We never
So
do.
we're...
I second both motion.
Okay. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right, 3-0. Next, discuss possible action requesting an amendment to county tax assessor collector department 2017-2018 budget by transferring $1,150 from office supply to capital outlay. Does she have the money? Does she have the money?
She has the money, we don't know what it's for, so I don't know how we're gonna do this. Unless just one of us sign her 11.5 for whatever she wants to buy for capital outlay, with no item.
I don't know what we're buying.
I don't either.
Doesn't she have to come to the court to get that approved?
What's on the agenda?
No, but if
There's
she's gonna
nobody
buy
in
something in capital outlay, she has to come to the court.
Yeah, that's what is supposed to happen, but that doesn't seem to be how it happens.
I'm gonna agree with you, Commissioner Nantz, it's a big mess, it is.
Yeah, we have one member of this court that spent over $300,000 in capital outlay and never once came to the court, so. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so you're not.
Then All right, next, item 25, discuss possible action requesting approval of District Attorney's Office to install an outlet and window unit on second floor by the stairs of District Attorney's cost. Request for it to be installed by county employee and/or independent contractor at District Attorney's cost.
Good morning, Judge,
Good morning.
Commissioners, County Attorney's Office, everybody else.
Good morning.
Gave you a little...
Good morning.
Good morning. We are simply trying to fix a problem we have on our second floor. We don't have the airflow that we have in the system that's installed. It's been there a long time, certainly before I've been there. The vents, there's 2 locations in our office that there's no vents, and so there's no airflow in them. So we've got some fans going on. What we're trying to do is right here on the stairs, as you go upstairs, we're trying to get a window unit there. And also on the other side, and I would ask if y'all do approve this to consider amending my request to add an additional unit and a unit on the other side. So these window units, if you allow them to be installed, will be on the sides. They're not going to be in the front, they're not going to be in the back.
You have the money?
I'm paying for it myself, sir.
Motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
That's how you get it approved.
I need a motion for two.
But it doesn't even have to come to the court, that's a work
All
order.
right, all right. There's a motion, second, all those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
I mean, he doesn't have to bring it, that's what's so funny.
All right, next item 26, to discuss and possible action authorize the county judge to execute the interlocal agreement between Valverde County, Ontario County, and Texas. This agreement will be provide housing and care for certain inmates incarcerated or incarcerated in the Valverde County, or to be incarcerated in the Valverde County Correctional Facility. All I need is an interlocal agreement.
Motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? None, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 3-0. Item 27, discuss possible action authorizing Valverde County Judge to execute an interlocal agreement between Valverde County, Texas, and Zavala County, Texas. This agreement will provide housing and care of certain inmates incarcerated or to be incarcerated in the Valverde County Correctional Facility.
So move. Second.
Second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
But those
Aye.
contracts are illegal.
Huh?
Those contracts are illegal.
Why are the contracts illegal?
I'm just kidding, but you guys never asked.
We assumed that somebody looked at them.
The original contracts were reviewed by GEO, attorney staff and the county attorney's office. This is just so we can, their agreements are expired or about to expire, and this is the new IGA rate, 6404. And I will probably be presenting another item, next agenda, to include some verbiage in there to charge, because the IGA is going to be going up, so it'll have to be presented more often on a regular basis. So if we can get some verbiage in there, that we do it once a year, whatever the IGA is, that's what they're going to be charged. So those
It'll be a new contract, a new agreement.
Yes.
And so you'll bring us a form that's signed off that the county attorney reviewed it and approved?
It's going to go to Ms. McCoskey.
That way we know for sure.
Yeah. We'll do it right.
All right.
No, and this is a renewal, the forms don't usually change, so.
But I just need to put some verbiage in there to allow us to, because if not, it's going to go up in the next 6 months, it's expected to go up on a regular basis. And, I don't want to be up here every month explaining what the new IGA is, so we can put verbiage in there that will allow us to just charge what the new IGA rate is, and we go on until the next year, we'll bring it back.
Well, see, the court's saying that every time it goes up, or Commissioner Nelson, as I understood it, that you would bring a new contract.
And I don't want to do that.
Exactly, what you want to do is have a
month,
contract that says what you charge is the same as the IGA. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll bring you that in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. All right, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody. Item 28, discuss possible action authorizing Valverde County Judge to execute a local agreement between Valverde County, Texas and Kinney County, Texas. This agreement to provide the housing and care of certain inmates incarcerated or to be incarcerated in Valverde County Correctional Facility.
So move.
So move.
Second.
Second, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 3-0. Next, item 29, discuss possible action authorizing Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez to hire an intern to cover reception for up to 2 months to be paid from salary budget line item.
Move.
Move. Second, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody, 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, monthly treasury report, I think all of you have it.
This is not a preliminary report, this one does require
Mhm.
action. We
we're able to get everything in time.
Okay.
So moved.
Move. Second, all those in favor, indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, nobody, 3-0. Next, item 31, monthly county auditor's report.
Thank you, sir.
I think all of you have it already.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
Any questions on the expenses heading out for the budget?
So moved.
Move. Second, all those in favor, indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, nobody, 3-0. Thank you. Right, do we need to go executive session now?
Well, 32 is open session.
Okay. Item 32, Anna McCoskey Smith, County Attorney, requesting discussion possible action regarding the posting of the county personnel and purchasing manuals online, and we include any updates as the court or purchase agent respectfully approve them.
Basically because we have issues about purchasing, and sometimes personnel matters come up, and so people lose them, and that's the excuse that we hear. Well, not the excuse, the reason why they don't follow things. And if you have them on the website, then everybody can access them all the time. And if you ask Graham to do it, then it's there, and we can consult with them based on what's on the website. Because sometimes we get updates, and they say they don't get the updates, and so that solves that problem.
Okay.
Judge,
Yes.
the policy manual is an ESS, and it's available to all employees.
What's ESS?
Our Tyler, and I update it every time we have updates, and every time we have changes, I personally hand deliver policies to all the departments. I have everybody acknowledge that you don't read them, that's
Well, the
everybody
problem is
else,
that,
or that they don't follow procedure, but we do our part in having it available to everybody.
well, then can we just have something reminding them?
I know Ram and I had discussed the setting up a portal in the website for employees. Of course, you would need a login to access it, but that's in the works. We've been trying to get that done the last 2 years, but it is available in ESS through Tyler.
But the personnel policy manual would be public record, wouldn't it?
It is, but I don't know what purpose it would serve the public. I think it would cause confusion for the public.
I'm just...
And I reached out to other counties right now. I called 24 counties. There's 8 that do have it in their website, and the rest don't. It would be a matter of...
Yeah, it's the court. I'm just, trying to make it as easy as we can for everybody. So, and it's up to the court, obviously. I don't know how Roy feels about the purchasing manual being online.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's still very, very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Ask permission to buy something. When you get a purchase order number, that means you got permission. But I did see it.
Yeah.
Apparently it's confusing.
It is, did all the time, so.
Anything else? Okay, do we need to go executive session?
Oh, is there going to be a motion, or you guys are going to?
Well, I thought she was working on setting up the...
Yeah, but you still have the purchasing manual.
I thought we would set up both of them at the same time on the system.
No.
And as far as the setting up on the website through either a portal or for Ram to do it, it's up to the court.
Whatever the court wants to do. Whatever. Don't matter to me.
Well, obviously it doesn't.
So, right now, the policy manual is not online?
It is through ESS, and that's good timekeeping. All employees have a login, so everybody's got access to log in, look at it. We do have employees that print it out. We have employees that print out forms that they need, email them. We have employees, we have department heads that call and say, I'd rather you look at the policy section and read it to me and tell me what's going on, interpret it for me. And that is the purpose of us being there. And then everybody acknowledges any changes. We do require that you accept the acknowledgement to receive the policy manual.
So then we've got the purchasing manual, which is the bigger problem.
If it's gonna help reduce people not spending without purchase orders or not buying without purchase orders, it's no big deal.
Make a motion to put the purchasing manual.
So y'all recommend this?
on the website.
Okay, there's a motion, put the purchase manual on website.
With their recommendation, I'll second.
Okay. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nobody? Thank you. All right, now, do we need to go executive session?
Purchasing.
Councilman?
I don't have anything on it, unless y'all have something, or
Okay.
Matt has something.
Okay.
Matt, do you have something?
No, I just want to go into greater detail, Mr. Clerk.
No. All right, any subdivision plats? Roger, any subdivision, any certificates of compliance?
No.
Okay. Need a motion to approve monthly reports from elected officials? So move.
Second.
Second, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, all those opposed, nobody. Approval of bills to be paid? So move. Second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, all those opposed, nobody. There's no comments from the judge. There's nothing else. Please adjourn.